Welcome to the Expert Exchange Studio, where we get to the raw and unedited thoughts of the seasoned expert. I am your host, Dr. T. This is not a polished interview. It is a brave, bold, and spunky entrepreneur sharing their genius. We get to the real stories and skip the PR lingo. And today, I cannot tell you how happy I am. Our guest is Terilee Harrison. Now, she is literally a virtual networking expert. And in this day and age, man, don't we need to learn from someone that's an expert in this field? It's all about connecting business owners, coaches, and consultants through an online global referral community. Wow, how important is this? And you know, as I got to know Terilee, her whole thing is she is completely obsessed with networking. Not only that, but she is actually, as I said, an expert in her field. She has published almost 100 articles on LinkedIn, and that really has raised her status. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Terilee to tell us a little bit about herself.
Oh, thanks so much. Dr. T, what an opportunity to be here with you. I'm so appreciative to have this chance to share. So a little bit about me. The fun fact I like to share is I have a Supergirl cape and I'm not afraid to wear it.
All right.
And then to get more serious, yes, it's true. It's true. I am obsessed with networking. You know why? Because I'm obsessed with people. I love meeting people, helping to make connections for them, and helping them be able to move forward in their business and in their life. Because as you know, I really believe in it's not really what we know that's important. That's why we're the expert exchange. But the who we know is huge. It's huge.
Yeah, no, we're so in line with that. It's about the relationships, right?
Yes.
And it's the relationships is what helps us drive those results. Well, I know you are an international businesswoman, which to me I just love that. I love to travel. I love to find out different places people are living. Living. So where? First of all, tell us where you're currently residing and what it's like to do business across the globe.
Now that's an interesting question. And 4 years ago, I would have had no idea. So for the last 3.5 years, I've been living in Singapore. We came here for my husband's work. And at the time that we were coming over for his work, I was like, what am I going to do? What in the world will I do? And I was already very heavily entrenched with a company that I've been with now since 2007, and that's Team Referral Network. Yeah. And I began when I first moved. I began just running my business that's in California remotely. But things have been interesting, and as we'll talk about my journey, I began looking at virtual networking 2 years ago. 2 years ago. All right. So it's not like COVID hit and suddenly I went online. No, you were ahead. Yeah. We were ahead. And being international has been so interesting because the one thing is it's easy to think, will the people in this country accept me? Will I be one of them or will I not? Or how do they look at it? And the thing is, entrepreneurialism, if you will, it translates everywhere. We're just the same humans. We just live in different places. I think if I've come to know anything, it's that.
Yeah, so true. But really, you talk about these relationships and building these relationships. I mean, how do you start building a new one, especially when you're in a new environment?
So, there's the opportunities that we have to make connections, and they're so easy these days, right? We're on our phone, we're making the connections. It's just like face-to-face networking, being out meeting at you at a NABO meeting or some other meeting where we're shaking hands, but instead it's online, and it translates so well. So the only difference would be is you're meeting that beautiful, amazing woman from the UK, that exceptional businessman from India, the hot people from Australia. It's just that it's online and they're located someplace different. It is no different. It fully translates.
Wow. I noticed that when I travel, it's really about sort of presenting yourself. It's the smile. It's the same thing. It's giving, right? I mean, Isn't that what it's about?
Yes. Yes, that's absolutely what it's about. And I found myself here. Things really popped, if you will. Oh, that's so crazy. But when COVID hit, things really popped for the online networking world. Hello, right? From 1 week, I had no competition, and most people said, I don't like online networking. They said, I can't network on a screen. To the next week, I had all the competition in the world, literally, right? Literally, but suddenly people were looking at it. And I can't tell you how many conversations I'd have, Dr. T, where I'd be talking to the great guy from Bahrain, and I'd be looking up, where is this, and I will just tell people wholeheartedly, I will say, you're my first friend in Turkey. You're my first friend in Bahrain, in India. Tell me what it's like to do business there. And we would talk even about like currency exchanges and what that looks like. And I just had caring people. This is what I found. There are people that will totally come alongside you and help you on the journey and clue you in. People who will share, this is what we do in our culture. All we have to do is ask. And, I think we all want the connection, right? We all want that connection. And they would love to know that you'd like to come alongside them in the journey.
Oh, I love that. And I think, taking it back from you being in the States, and, I do think people have this fear, whether it comes from just not feeling knowledgeable or not feeling, really like I know what I'm talking about. I'm set and ready to go to walk into a room. And now we walk in virtual rooms. Yep. But tell our audience, so relationships are good, but am I selling to you? How am I building that so that I can actually grow my business?
Eventually, as we build the relationship, we're going to get to the point where we're able to begin referring. There will be times when it may just be that we are synergistically building what I call, in a team referral network, we call the power partner relationships. You've heard of them, strategic partners, right? Yeah. And so a lot of times it's not that we are personally going to sell to those people, but we're going to be building a relationship where we're able to introduce our audience to each other. So there will be times we sell, there will be times we don't. And I think we'll know, and people will tell us, I'm interested in your service for myself. If you go in looking to build that referral partner relationship, I think they're going to come out and tell you, like, this is what I'm interested in. Or you can just ask them, is this something that you think could benefit your business, or how do you see this benefiting your clients? I don't think we need to sell them. Yeah.
I love that. It's creating these power partners. I wrote this down because it's an introduction to an audience. It's, hey, just ask.
Yes.
And then how do you see this fitting into your business? But wait a second. The other key thing you said is, how can I help you help your clients?
Correct.
How valuable is that?
It's huge. It's huge. Spending 80% of our networking time with the people that we share clients with, it's so powerful. It's so powerful because we're able to build strong relationships. Good relationships aren't built overnight. Think about, like, do you decide to have a first date, right? You meet someone online. Do you decide to even have a first date? Because sometimes we'll meet people online and we'll be like, okay, that was it. I'm done. But there'll be other people, it's like, I want some more time with you, right? Right. Well, and Dr. T, sometimes I'm with someone on that first date and, like, I just really like how they are and I love what their offering is and I want to marry them right then, and I have to, like, control myself.
Right.
But they take time, they take trust, and it's amazing when they begin to work, when you're really able to collaborate, partner, refer, get yourself in front of their audience and vice versa. It's stunning what can happen, and it makes life and business so much easier and so much more scalable.
Well, and I think that's been the success of team referral networking, and now your virtual team networking, kind of that the relationship and building it, and then creating kind of a collaborative together.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. It's so true. And the only difference here, okay, so 2 years ago when I came into the virtual networking, I could see the national part. I could see, oh, we're going to be national across the US. What I could not see was, and by the way, COVID really helped with this, I couldn't see the whole concept. Like if now I say our tagline is helping you make global connections with ease, and the response of my members is, and it's true, right? The thing I couldn't see is the ability to bring in the UK people want to meet people from North America and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And I could go around and share the different aspects of where people are wanting to make global connections and being able to bring that for them. Yeah. That's what I could not see previously that has come out of this, and it's been stunning and it's so exciting.
Well, that leads right into some thoughts that I had, because to me, when you're a coach or a consultant, or even selling products, even in corporate, I mean, there is a point where you either, you kind of have to choose to scale. And for you, going virtual really helped you scale. What were some of those key pointers that you think you can share so other people, when they're thinking about the scalability, can really hone into?
I want to invite you to take a look, everybody, at your competition. And I want to invite you to get on calls and explore with your competition what they're up to. One way to scale is you might find competitors that they have their niche, you have yours, and what you love to do is not what they love to do. You're able to refer and cross-promote. I've had people that are global in the business networking world who we decided that we were going to partner together, that we weren't going to be competitors, that I would be part of their organization, they'd be part of mine, and we would bring our networks together to bring more value for all. And it's because of conversations like that being open that suddenly who knew? Did you know that someone, I'm going to call out my dear friend Farah Hussein out of Scotland. Did you know that it would be another business networking company that helped us expand into the UK first? Who knew that? Who knew that? But it's being willing to have those conversations, being willing to be the open one, and being willing to come alongside someone.
How opposite is that from what we learned in Business 101, right? They always said competition is, you got to go after your competition. You got to take them on and you got to crush them. You know what? That's not the way business is done anymore.
It's not. And it's way more fun with your friends, especially if you're friends who get what you do, but do something different. And you can talk the same language, you enjoy, you hang out, you're there on the journey. And it's like, hey, I learned this. Oh, I learned this. And you share the information. It's stunning. It's stunning.
So do you think for you, when you had to, you kind of said, well, you know what, I'm here, I'm going to do what I can do. Do you think there was a pivoting point in your business, whether it was your service or products, or just your mindset, that you sort of had to pivot from the way you were currently doing business into this whole virtual world?
As I said, so I want to give credit where credit is due, Dr. T. And that is 6 years ago. So not 2 years ago, but 6 years ago, I had somebody in my life, James Fierce, and he was out of Southern California. James has passed away recently, and I've lost track of time on when exactly James passed away. But James could see the virtual world 6 years ago. And I have pictures of myself on an iPad networking nationally across the US with brown hair, right? And saying, I love what I do. And here we were 6 years ago. So people weren't ready for it yet, and technology wasn't quite ready at the time. So for me to say, I want to try that again. Ooh, how many times have you tried something and it potentially wasn't the right time, and were you willing to pick it back up again and take another look at it? I said to Kelly Holmes, the founder of Team, I said, I feel like we should try this again. We had always believed from the time James introduced us that, because he could see the whole virtual world, and God rest his soul. If he was here today, he would just be pleased as punch at what was happening online because he could see it. But we always knew we could be networking on our phones. We could be traveling and traveling the world and get on our laptop and still attend a meeting, right? We knew that. And so on faith, we move forward. But I have to say, part of it was diving in and being willing to, as most of us do, in the beginning, put in some blood, sweat, and tears, right? For a little payoff in the beginning and being able to ride that out. It was in the writing out of it, but it's part of the journey. It's part of the story, part of the journey. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. And 6 years ago, people thought James was nuts. 2 years ago, people thought I was nuts. The pandemic started and people still thought I was nuts. But it's been, I wake up in gratitude every single day. I wake up in appreciation every single day.
See, that's fantastic. But don't you think entrepreneurs are just a little crazy?
We are.
we just have that baseline, right?
Yes. I love that about us. I love it that we are. I love it that we're dreamers, doers. If we will get out of our own way, I think a lot of times that's what it is and I see it, right? I'm exposed to so many amazing people. And actually, I want to say I have met more, oh my gosh, how do you want to call them? Just motivated, on fire people since the pandemic than before.
Yes, I've noticed that too. I really have. Let me get to so you like I said, you're an international businesswoman. You have this I've seen you facilitate these networking groups, and I've seen how you engage people, and you have just a beautiful way about you. But here's the question that I just throw in there without you even knowing it.
Go ahead.
At some point, you had to have a little fear.
Okay. Let's speak into that. So the one thing is, I've been doing this for a while. And what I'm here to tell you is, especially like shifting into the virtual world, that most of what we did before can totally translate. So you bring the awesome you into the new world. Was there a time I was afraid? Let me say, Dr. T, I am a small town girl from Ohio. And if you would have told me at any point that I would be running a global online referral organization and meeting people from all over the world, I would have been like, are you freaking kidding me? But right, I wouldn't have ever believed you. But it took going from Ohio to living in SoCal, where there's more culture and just bigger city, to it's been the journey. For most of us, is it not part of our journey? To coming to Southeast Asia, doing some more traveling here in Southeast Asia, being international enough to be open. Yes, of course, to get on the phone with South Africa, Bahrain, Pakistan, Australia, to begin to get on these calls. Yes, of course you feel the fear, but you know what? I want to tell you, there's nothing horrid that can ever come from jumping on a Zoom call or an international networking meeting. If you need to, just take your screen off and mute yourself. If it's really that bad. Hey, I have the most awesome story you're going to love. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So this is a top online networking tip, and this is what it is. The one thing that can happen is sometimes people are not used to our accents. Have you ever gotten on a call? I love it now with our global online networking. The minute that the Scottish awesome people hit the screen, the North Americans, they just they just love it when the Scots talk, right? They just love that. But I was on a call, one of my first calls, probably with Australia. And they called on me to give my pitch. And I was giving some networking tips. And here I am with my Midwest US accent. And I didn't realize that they might not be able to fully get this. And I was talking about, you have to put your big ask out there when you network. And they couldn't hear the K. They could not hear the K. Okay. So I don't find out. I'm giving my thing. I'm shining. I'm just doing my thing. And I stopped doing my thing long enough to breathe and look at the chat over to the right. And I'm looking at the chat, Dr. T. And it says in there, are we allowed to swear in this meeting? And I'm like, oh, someone's swearing in the chat. No, they thought it was me. They thought it was me. So I was pretty appalled, not that, but I was pretty appalled. And so that would be my funny, but top tip about there will be times when we are expanding, if you choose to expand globally, where there could be some communication things, right?
Yeah.
So just be careful, everyone. And ever since then, I don't have it here, but ever since then, I have a little big ask prop that I put at the camera just to avoid confusion.
That is a fantastic story. Some of the humor that goes along is just just perfect, right? Because we learn from it, and we all get a giggle from it.
We do. It's the best story to share. It really cracks people up.
Yeah. Well, where do you go from here? Well, let me ask you before I ask you that. If somebody decided, look, my business is ready to go global, it sounds like this V team networking is a really good entrance into meeting other people internationally. How does that work with you in that sense? Yeah.
It's such a great question. So yes, it can be. And let me say, there are a lot of wonderful international networking opportunities. Many of them just, popped on the scene, or people who were more local expanded also, right? Expanded also. So there are many opportunities. For us, it involves reaching out, letting me know that you'd like to visit. We have, you attended what we call like a global gathering. So twice a month, we have amazing events with global networking and speakers. You can pop in. We have weekly exclusive referral chapters. And if you'd like to do a visit to a chapter, I'd love to invite you as my guest. So I'd love to hear from you what time zone you're looking for, who you're looking to meet, what you do. And I'm almost like a matchmaker, being obsessed with people in networking. Can you imagine when I get to matchmake? It's awesome.
Yes, awesome. You love it. You love it.
I do.
Yes, and I know that my business partner has been very involved with Team Referral forever. And then when we hopped on that virtual, you know what? It wasn't, it was about the relationships and the introductions and the connections you helped with. But I think it was the community of people that really had information to share with us to take us to our next level, to sort of scale, like, how do you scale your business? Well, these people are doing it. And there was just such collegial commitment that I loved.
True. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. That's why I think what excites me most, and we both mentioned it, how we've noticed this new oomph that entrepreneurs are having right now, where that's who we're running into. So for me, it's like if like attracts like, which I totally believe, and I'm sure you do too. And we have growing this community, and it's going to continue to grow across the board globally like this over time. Oh, it's stunning. So my big thing that if you hang around me at all, you're going to hear me say repeatedly, and it's my deep belief, and it's that I am looking for the people that are looking for me. So whether I got all the competition in the world overnight or not, I strongly believe that we're going to build this stunning community of motivated people that want to come alongside each other, help each other on the journey, support each other, and making huge impacts in the world. And that is a reason to get up in the morning. Yeah. And stay up half the night on Zooms.
Well, yes, it's that balance. Say that again about finding the people that need you or that you need. Say that again. That was so powerful.
My deep belief is that I'm looking for the people that are looking for me.
Oh, yes. Take that home, people. Take that home with you. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's how we grow our business. That's how we scale. That's just fun business.
It's fun business. And you know what it takes away? All the rejection. Who cares? It's okay. It's all right. They aren't looking. They're not our people. They're not looking for us. Yeah. And I said to someone one time, tell me how much is too much posting on LinkedIn, et cetera. And that person said, look, if people like you, you can't post enough. And if they don't like you, every post you're going to make is annoying to them. I'm like, oh, got it. I'm sure there's some people that see me on LinkedIn and are like, oh, there she is again. Because hey, my Supergirl cape, it's on LinkedIn, man. I don't know about, I'm just saying, You never know when it's going to show up. But there's other people go,
Yeah.
there she is.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah, you got to, everybody, you've got to go check her out on LinkedIn. It's a fabulous picture. She has her cape over her shoulder and she looks stunning. She's just in her power. You got to go check it out. All right. So our time is coming to a close, but I want to ask you this last question here.
Yep.
What is next for you?
I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing for 2 years, and that is I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to be there for the people that are looking for me. That was one thing that hit me so hard when COVID hit was I had already been in this space and I was very comfortable in this space, right? Yeah. And I thought, while people are scrambling, I'm going to be here. I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to teach people, guide people. How many people could raise their hand when COVID hit and say, I'm a virtual networking expert? They couldn't, right? They couldn't, right? So I'm going to continue to do the same and then to scale and continue to grow. It is my intention to keep building those referral partner relationships, to find key people who want to come alongside and be in the journey and have us be able to grow our organizations or our companies alongside each other. That's my plan. That's my plan. And I'm excited because these are some of the most amazing relationships that we can have in business and in life. And I'm looking to develop more.
What a great place to be. And I just want everybody to know, if you want to get a hold of Terilee, you can go to theteamnetwork.com and find out more information. And this is also where you can be a guest and interact and find out how awesome this V-Team networking group is. The other thing I want to make sure you have is terileetalks@gmail.com. So if you want to email her directly, that's where you can get a hold of her. And go check her out on LinkedIn. She's got a fabulous profile. And again, the great picture with her cape. We all need a cape.
We all need one.
That's right. With that, this was your host, Dr. T, bringing you the raw and unedited from the Expert Exchange Studio, brought to you by the Innovate Her business community, whose mission is to bring together female entrepreneurs to be confident and fierce, so we can create more significant enterprises, a self-designed lifestyle, and financial independence. Let's do it together.